Saturday they're riding with you. Best card show in the country, it's true. So saddle up and listen, find out what you've been missing. You can be a card part two.
Yeah, welcome to a special edition of the True Sports Card Show. Coming to you today from the True Sports Card Shop, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. I'm Whitey Gleason. And
I couldn't hear you.
Coming up today on the show, we've got the sorry, I'm hearing what we've already done. I apologize. Coming up today, we've got the latest on today's special day at the shop. We got details on this week's big drop and a peek at the players whose card values have tumbled from the top. But we can't do any of that without Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilates.
Hey.
Hello, Emran.
Hello, Whitey Gleason. For those of you joining us on the YouTube chat, I was just going to show you that Whitey's down there and I'm over here. And the reason why we're doing this is so that way we don't have reverb between the two of us. But apparently,
there we go.
You just don't, are you doing okay on that side, Whitey?
Yes.
Okay,
How are you?
I just want to make sure you're in good shape. I'm great. It's good to see you.
Yes. My apologies. I was getting
to...
double audio. I was getting what I'd already said, and then I was confused by what I had said. So,
which is great.
Yeah.
The stuff that you say is worth hearing twice for sure.
Yes. I just want to sing you my little Christmas song I prepared for you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to have you here. So, this is the first time we've ever done the presentation from the actual shop. And it's exciting. It's funny because just before we went on air, Whitey goes, I just love being here. I just love being in a card shop. So it's so nice to have him in his natural habitat of wanting to be in a card shop right now. So that's pretty cool. We just opened our doors. It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday. Donovan and AJ, DJ, and we have our friend Connor helping us out. Tanner's here. So we have our whole crew here. Ethan should be here shortly because today is our 4-year anniversary. It's officially like Black Friday, but we just kind of are going to celebrate it today. So starting at 1 p.m. today, we're going to have Matt Williams, the legendary giant slugger here. He's going to be signing autographs. We still have tickets available for you if you have to walk in and do that. We have plenty of merch for you to choose from. We've got jerseys and photos and cards for him to sign if you'd like to buy those. If you didn't have anything to get signed, tickets start at just $35 for any item that you have. Get to meet Matt, get an autograph, and it's a good time. Any good memories for you, Whitey, on Matt Williams?
Matt Williams, what a tremendous giant he was. The one thing I remember about him the most is that year 1994 when we had the labor dispute, and he only played 112 games, and he hit 43 home runs. And he might have that year, if he had a chance, he might have actually been the first to break Roger Maris's record a couple years before, of course, Mark McGwire did. But we'll never know. But that's one of the things I remember. Yeah,
I guess we'll never know. The other thing too is that when a lot of players during those times went through some of the scandal and regarding use, he was not one of those names. He was it was like a Griffey. He just didn't have that name lined up with any kind of PD use. He was a slugger from the beginning. And one of the cool things that I have signed that I'm going to have him sign today is I went to eBay and I bought his first major league debut ticket. He went 1 for 3 that day. It was April 11th, 1987. So I have that ticket, and it was against the Dodgers. They lost 5-1. And one of the local friends here, a resident here, Steve Sachs, played in that game. Roseville's own Steve Sachs. Well, he's Roseville now, but Steve Sachs was in that game too. So kind of cool to see some of the history and to have him sign it. So I'm going to have him sign Matt Williams, major league debut, 1 for 3 on their first career hit. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I stunned you with my Matt Williams trivia today that you didn't even know that Matt Williams played in 3 different World Series with 3 different teams.
I did not know that. I did not know that. And I knew that one of them was going to be the Giants, obviously, when he played in the 88 World Series, the 89 World Series, that's Earthquake Series. Then he played for the Indians, but I think that was in 95. Was that the Indians in 95?
97 when they played the Marlins when it was snowing in the World Series.
So they unfortunately lost both of those World Series, but the ones that he did win was with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Right, the Randy Johnson Diamondbacks.
Mhm.
So exciting times.
2001 Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
that's a huge day. You must be. It's just the sense of anticipation here is almost palpable. No, there's a lot of excitement in the store today. You got everything set up. You got the largest area rug in the world here, ready to go. All your tables, the little stage area.
We
set
call it
up.
the magic carpet. That's what we call it here, the magic carpet. And the reason why it's called the magic carpet, for those of you that don't know, it's because we had just gotten our floors done here with hardwoods, and within 3 months of us installing it, the water intrusion began underneath it and it started lifting it up. So it was kind of like a ride the wave scenario. You jump on one side and the person sitting on the other side of the room pops up because the big old bubble that was underneath it. So what we did was we cut out the entire middle section and put down commercial carpet. So there's hardwood on commercial carpet, butting up against each other. So come and check out the magic carpet here at Creek Sports Cards today.
Whatever it is, it's spectacular. Emron, big basketball card news this week with the new Topps Chrome coming out. And I wanted to ask you about one of the top rookies, at least in this area. Doug Christie now is saying Maxime Reynaud may actually be starting, perhaps as soon as tonight for the Kings. I have one of his rookie cards. I know a lot of people will be coming into your shop asking about him. What do you think of in this, this dismal season so far for the Kings? Maxime Reynaud kind of coming into his own.
Well, the only thing that's out there is Topps, right? That's his only rookie, variations of it. And exciting. We've got this guy that was a projected late first rounder. He ended up sneaking into the second round, kind of just falling a little bit. I don't think by anything of his own. We just had a lot of surprises from the second round jumping into the first round. So it kind of pushed him back. But I'm excited. I watch him. I mean, I got to say this too. This Houston game that just passed was the first game that I didn't watch at all, either on replay or anything. So as a lifelong card carrying Kings homer, my heart hurts this season right now. So it's a little challenging, but all the other games that I did watch or see in person and Maxime played, he hustles. He's a little awkward, a little lanky. I think he's still trying to figure out his 7-foot frame and getting into it, but he's quite good. He hustles every play. That's all you can ever ask for. And if we're going to lose, let's lose and give these kids some reps, and let's see what we can do on that. And I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, 25 or what did he score the other night?
25.
25. Did he play much against Şengün? Like heads up?
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm,
okay. Mm-hmm, so if he's scoring 25 against a guy like Şengün, who isn't exactly, Dikembe Mutombo, but at the same time, he's Şengün, an all-star. I think that it's a good let's let him run. I mean, why not? DeMontis is probably out for a good 3 more weeks. So let's give this kid some run. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I have to tell you, you know how we say when a basketball player has a lot of moves, he's in his bag. So with Maxime Reynaud being French, on Twitter, I said he's in his baguette. And I thought that's dumb.
That's very dumb.
One of the people that liked it was Philippe Reynaud. And it turns out I looked into it. That's Maxime's dad. So Maxime Reynaud's dad actually liked my he's in his baguette tweet.
How did you put that on X or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I happened to see the people that liked it. Philippe Reynaud is like, who's that? And I checked it. Yeah. So, that's kind of how I roll, Emron.
Well, when you are Whitey Gleason, you can pull these things off. So.
Yeah, but you didn't watch. That's because you listened to the game on Sactown Sports, I'm sure. Are you okay?
Yeah. And when I say the answer is no. I tuned out. I went to Fogo de Chao. I had dinner with a friend, and him and I are both Kings fans, and we just didn't pay attention. I think that it's hard to watch a game and usually if it's on replay and I have it recorded, I usually will go home and I'll ignore all of my social media so that way I don't spoil the game. So I just kind of wait until later and then I watch it that night. I can't go overnight and try to watch it the next day. Too much social media has to be involved for me. I'll run into it. I'll see the results, but I'm not rooting for losses for sure, but like What do we do at this point? I think even if we went 500 the rest of the way, there's 60 games left, so 30 games plus 5. Even if we went 500, we'd be at 35 wins, and it's unlikely that we're 500 the rest of the way. So we're probably looking at about a 25 win team, probably at max, depending on what they end up doing in regards to the deadline. But I think everybody's kind of throwing in the white towel and saying, let's go ahead and make these changes. Levine scored, I think, 2 the other night or something crazy low. Is that right?
He didn't score much. I think he's the one they would love to move the most.
And I
Nothing
think he
against
walked out
him.
too.
He's become a symbol for fans of what's gone wrong, which is, I don't think it's fair, but I think with his contract, they would love to move off of him if they can. So I'm guessing that might have, 2 points. That might have something
2
to do
points,
with how little
unbelievable.
that he's playing. But for me, Aaron, my checklist before we get to basketball cards which are out this week for the Kings, and I know this isn't for everybody. I'm looking at, did any of the young players play well? That's good. Did anybody you want to trade play well enough to get the attention of another team? That's good. Was the game at least half interesting? Yeah. And then the other thing is, did they maintain or improve their lottery position? So that was a great game, but I know that's not the way everybody wants to look at it.
Well, if you think about the last 4 or 5 years, the lottery odds have been jumbled. You have people that don't, or when I say people, I mean organizations that don't have that strong of a percentage that are jumping into the top 3, let alone top
because
1.
they flattened the odds. You're right. They flattened the odds.
They flatten the odds. So the worst 3 have generally the same odds. I think it's 14.5%, something like that.
14.2%.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at it, top of my head, White. I'm very good at this. Top of my props to me. 14.2% of a chance to be in the top, to get the top pick, if you're the bottom 3. So it's a real interesting time as a potentially tanking team, whether or not you're even going to be able to jump in. It's not like the old days, right? The Patrick Ewing frozen envelope days where you're able to get,
Right.
The David Stern pulls out the frozen envelope and the Knicks get the number 1 pick. Those days are kind of over. So, if the Kings end up with a top 5 pick, it's a pretty strong draft. Let's see what happens. But you got to clear the path. If you're going to get a top 5 draft pick, you're going to have minutes available, and you can't really do that when you have DeMar and you have Levine and you have all these other players that are kind of blocking the way. And again, I'm always going to be a Malik Monk fan because of how he plays, who he is, how he's acclimated to the community, how he chose to be here. He wasn't traded here. He chose to be here as a free agent. And it doesn't hurt that I have 700 Malik Monk signed jerseys that are ready to go. So, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Malik. I always will be. And so I don't want him to be part of the team that leaves. And what's so interesting is that one of the assets that have come into play that's done a great job is Precious Achiuwa. I think he's played himself into a rotational player for the rest of the next 2 or 3 years if they decide to sign him. I think he's wonderful, great player, plays really hard, and is on a fairly reasonable contract.
Yeah, we're coming to you from the True Sports Card Shop, and we're open for business, right, Emron? We got customers coming in here
on the radio.
Yeah.
We're on the radio right now.
Yeah. So people could come in and check out the show in person if they so wished, right?
Let's do it. Yeah, I'd love to have you guys here. Matt Williams will be here at 1:00 today. And then tonight, don't forget, we have our True Sports Card Trade Night. And that's going to be from 6 to 9, although we'll probably start around 4:30 or 5. We'll have food. I'll bring some pizzas in. Very inexpensive pizzas in. They may be from Costco or Little Caesars, but you'll be full. And we'll be, so it's more about quantity tonight when it comes to food than quality. But maybe next time we'll bring a lucky visitor to Fogo de Chao with me.
I do feel like I need to explain something, especially if somebody comes in and they see our setup and they're wondering what's going on, because 2 weeks ago we were not in the same room. You were on the road. Last week I was not able to join you. And now this week we're in the same room, but Emron insisted on sitting literally at the other end of his shop. So I get the message. I understand. That's just the way it is now. If it's you just don't want to be around me that much, it's okay. You can tell me though. It's pretty obvious at this point. It's the elephant in the room.
I love Rick. Rick's keeping it. Rick Galvez is always keeping us on track in the YouTube chat. He says, "Look, can we get to card talk?" I said, "Let's do it, Rick." So,
Yes.
originally the idea was, do we want Maxime Reynaud cards? He only has the tops one and all the parallels. In the store, as far as cards are concerned with the Kings, we're not seeing a lot of requests right now. We certainly aren't getting any requests from some of the veterans. And so the question is, who do you collect? I happen to have a DeMontis Sabonis rookie card back when he was with the Thunder, sitting over there. It's a PSA 10. It's been sitting, no action there. The rookies aren't both Neek Clifford and Maxime. Not a lot of demand. People haven't really been asking about it. So I don't know where we're at as far as Kings collectibles. Um, I will tell you that we've sold some Bibby and we sold some Weber. I recently sold
Really?
2 really limited edition Chris Webber jersey patch cards that were numbered to 10 out of Ultimate. Very expensive stuff. But other than that, really the Kings card market has not seen much. I would have thought that Keegan would have seen some action, and we have seen a little bit with Keegan. But again, the Kings card market, I think the team is just making people feel like a Kings card investment may not be the right fit.
Well, it
So.
seems to me that more and more card collectors are focusing on the guys that are going to be the best, the brightest stars. So even I think Keegan's a good example. There's a lot of local excitement, but people don't see him as somebody who's going to be a multi-time All-Star or a Hall of Fame player. And aren't those the type of players that discerning collectors are really focusing on now? The people they think are going to be Hall of Famers someday.
It's a safer bet. It's
Yeah.
a safer bet, and I think people are investing in the guys that they know are going to lock in to be very, very solid investments as Hall of Famers or whatever they end up being. This week, as an example, Chris Paul, with all the drama that he went through, I had a couple people come in and ask for Chris Paul rookie cards, which happened to be in, I think, 2005
Wow.
SPX and SP. People had come in and asked because we may never see Chris Paul on the court again. So people are looking at it and saying, because we knew this was his retirement season, people started having some interest in his cards, but his autographed rookie cards are very inexpensive. I mean, under $200 for a signed version of his rookie cards that's numbered, and that's a heck of a deal. It's really a good deal. So I think people are looking at it now, and think people are. They've also asked for Giannis because they know that he potentially may be on the trading block, and it's highly likely that he's going to direct where he's going to want to go, and everybody is saying he's probably going to be a Nick, and we should see a jump in values if he ends up going to a major market like New York or Chicago or even San Antonio playing next to Wemby. So I think that people are redirecting their purchasing power in cards towards more of a solid investment bet rather than speculating. But again, as a local card shop, I would love us to reinvigorate our King stuff. But unfortunately, it is kind of what it is.
Yeah. Emran, as you know, we've talked a lot about how retail now is not as popular as it once was, but there's a product that came out a week ago, and I know you have them here in store, and it's the Topps Blackout Black Friday Target exclusive
Mhm.
blasters. And I know these are really hard to get, but you have them here. I was at a Target this week, and they had the shelves for them, special shelves. They were cleared out. These are not Chrome cards, but they're immensely popular. Why are these things so popular? And how did you get so many of them? Good for you.
Okay, so a couple things here. Sometimes, okay, so we're a Topps direct account, meaning that we can order from Topps, but Topps limits dealers to how many you're allowed to get. You have to buy it by the case. There's nothing that we could buy by the singular box. So I can't buy 5 boxes. I either buy one full case or I don't get it, or I choose not to get it. However, depending on your card size and your previous history, you have the limitations of how many you're allowed to buy per Topps's permission. So, for example, we recently had Allen and Ginter, which we're going to talk about here later in the show, and I was allowed 2 cases of that at a certain price. So I couldn't buy any more directly from Topps, so I had to go to a secondary market to get some. And secondary market for retail is often people coming in with product to sell it to me that they ended up getting at Target or whatever. You will never see me sitting at Target waiting in line to, buy boxes of cards away from regular customers of Target. I would just never do that, or even Costco. I'd just never do that. But if somebody chooses to come in to sell me boxes that they bought at Target and I need them, of course I'm going to pay for whatever it is that makes sense for them and makes sense for me. And then I have to put a little uptick on there. Well, right before they got super hot, those Topps blaster boxes that you're talking about from Target, some people came in with them, and I ended up buying roughly about 25 of those boxes, and we've gone through about half of them. But I'm just trying to satisfy the demand.
Sure.
But I would tell you that retail product, and this is one of the challenges with those that are collectors versus investors. When it comes to collecting, the reason why Target, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, Ace Hardware, I mean, you go to Lids in the mall, you'll go to different places and they'll have this retail product, whether it be blasters or packs. Those are made with the intention for the masses, right? So the idea is to get as many Clifford cards in your hands as possible, as many Maxime Reynaud cards in your hands as possible. And so it's a mass production product. Whereas hobby boxes are ones that are limited, and then they're the ones that sit with us here in our shops, exclusive to our shop. So I'm at the mercy of what the market will allow us to buy and sell. But I think and this is a kind of one of those, I wouldn't call it a warning, but kind of keep your eye out for it, and we will keep track of it here on True Sports Card Show. I'm seeing more sports on the shelf at Target and Walmart when I go and do my weekly runs for my groceries and stuff. So I see them more often on the shelf than sold out. And I have a lot of those guys that usually come in and bring product, and they'll say to me, "Hey, Amron, do you need this? Do you need that?" I'm like, "No, I have a lot on my shelf still." So I think we're having a lot of differences when it comes to where the market was 6 months ago versus where it is now.
Yeah. Well, but then how come these are so popular? They've got, I don't know, special inserts and things, because for a retail product, they're very popular.
Different foils, special foils, different types of inserts specific to those boxes. So here's a chance to be able to buy a mass market retail product that does have some limited edition-ness to it. So that's kind of where it's at. It's kind of like a short print version of a mass retail product.
Yeah. And then what's going on with Topps Chrome basketball? Finally here. People have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, after how many years? It's here.
So I think the last time we had Topps Chrome basketball, it was more than 10. It was like 10-ish years ago. One of our great team members here, Tanner, is within eye shot of me. I can see him. Tanner, do you remember how long ago Topps Chrome was? What Topps Chrome basketball last time we had it? I want to say it was 10 years ago, Whitey, somewhere around there. And what I could tell you is that it is one of the most in-demand products that's coming out. It's interesting for those of you that don't know. Whenever we have a product that comes out, and Topps will usually run my credit card about a week prior to the event, to the release date. And so when I'm looking at my credit card this week and I go, "What just happened? How come I have zero left in my credit card balance?" It's because Topps Chrome came through. So we have several cases of both hobby, jumbo, we have mega boxes, and I have blaster boxes, all four varietals of Topps Chrome basketball. And it's going to be one of the hottest products of 2025 coming out. We don't have exactly the total retail box price or retail pricing for a hobby, but my expectation is it should be somewhere north of $500, somewhere around like $525 or so is what I think it's going to come out. We'll really know right around probably Monday what those prices are going to be. $525 for a hobby box with only one autograph per. So again, this is the first time that they've had licensed basketball, and jumbos are approaching somewhere around $1,100 for a jumbo box.
Whoa.
Now, remember this: when you look at Topps Chrome product, let's compare it to baseball. Baseball's been around for a while. There hasn't been a demand like, "Oh my goodness, Topps Chrome baseball is out." Yes, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's been around for a while. This is the first time in 10 years. So people are looking at this and saying something different. They're going, maybe I may stock some of these away because it's our first time back in many years. There's going to be some value here. Additionally, Topps and Fanatics have reduced their redemptions. They're trying not to do as many redemptions as possible. And Michael Rubin, CEO of Fanatics, has said, I'm making a commitment to not have redemptions as much as possible. But those that are redemptions, he's extending it out there. Topps have extended out there to be able to redeem them up to 10 years after the product comes out. So they're going to say anybody that didn't sign anything, we're willing to redeem that redemption card with a athlete that's pictured on that card for the next 10 years. So with that said, I mean, those boxes have longevity. If you go into like, I'll give you an example. If you go into like 2020 Panini Impeccable or National Treasures, that's a great year for football. You've got Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. You got a lot of names in there. And there was a guy that pulled a Joe Burrow redemption card, and it expired. And he pulled it this year. It's already expired. So they were willing to give him like some Panini points to get some other far inferior card in comparison to it, but it had an expiration. Topps Chrome is saying we're not putting an expiration for 10 years. So if you pull a Wemby and he doesn't have that card signed, you have up to 10 years to get you that card. So you don't have to worry about having an expiration for a good till 2035, which is kind of cool.
Here's the answer to your question, by the way. This is the first standalone, fully licensed Topps Chrome product for basketball since 2008, 2009. They did produce Chrome cards in the 2009-10 season, but those were inserts and not a dedicated Chrome lineup. So big event for basketball card collectors. The prices reflect the long wait, but it's interesting, Emran, and we're coming to you from True Sports Cards today, where Matt Williams is going to make an appearance. We've already talked a little bit about Allen and Ginter, which is primarily baseball. We've talked about basketball. It's football season. What is there anything new for football fans and football card collectors?
Let me jump in, going back a little bit. Let me rewind about 30 seconds. Just to let you know, one of the reasons also why Topps Chrome is so hot is because you have licensed now LeBron autographs. On the Lakers, you're going to have licensed Lakers Luka autographs on there. And not only that, but this rookie class has shown a pretty strong group. VJ Edgecombe with the Sixers has been playing well. Derek Queen, a guy that you pulled an autograph with just a couple of weeks ago, is playing pretty well for the 3-55 Pelicans. One of the other really strong ones, and probably the leading rookie of the year right now, is Con Knuppel from the Hornets.
He's a shooter.
This guy is averaging 20-something plus a game. He's the Robin to Cooper Flagg's Batman, but he's playing like Batman. The guy's he's getting the shots up. And I think if I read correctly through the dirt sheets, LaMelo's a little frustrated because Con Knuppel is getting all the points and LaMelo's not scoring like he normally used to. And LaMelo, he's all about the flash and getting the points. He hasn't said one word boo about losing. He just wants those shots. And I think he's always has that mentality. Maybe he'll grow up later, but I just feel like LaMelo's like, can I get mine? And right now he's not getting his. There's multiple videos of him waving his hands, begging for the ball to shoot a 3 7 feet behind the 3-point line. And Con Knuppel looks him off and shoots a 3 and makes it. And I can imagine that's kind of frustrating, but Con Knuppel is one of those that I would probably put some money behind if I'm investing in rookies this year, which is leading to a really strong Topps Chrome interest. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about football? Let's do that. So as we talked about in previous shows, Topps has made the decision that they are not doing any products this year for football. I think they learned their lesson from last year's Resurgence. I'm using product names, Resurgence and Topps Finest and Topps Chrome. You've got the not Chicago Bears. You've got the the San Francisco, but you don't have the SF 49ers. So they had unlicensed product and it just didn't resonate. And you saw big drops. So even though Topps may have sold the product, they do listen and they can hear that people are complaining that hey, I got a Drake May New England card, autographed, refractor, and it was $400 today, and 3 weeks later, it's $250.
Wow.
So when the people have spoken and they're saying, dude, these things are dropping like a rock in water, they're hesitant to buy that product again. And I think Topps just said, we don't want to play that game. So they made the decision to wait until after the Super Bowl to release 2026 products and not 25 products. So you're seeing Panini in their last year of licensing having all this stuff. So I'm looking on our shelf right now. We've got 2025 Mosaic. We've got 2025. You're going to have Prism here sooner than later. Draft picks just came out, but they're going to be loading a bunch of this stuff into the product because they can't. Once Panini loses their license this year, they can't use some of these active player stickers. So they're jam packing these stickers into products. So that way you might be getting 5 autographs in a box, but 4 of them might be who? Right.
Yeah.
And so that, even though they're jumping through the product, they're really just kind of burning through their inventory, knowing that they can't put stuff out there. Now, that doesn't mean that they may not make unlicensed product. They may make Chicago. They may make San Francisco. But keep this in mind. Topps Fanatics owns both the licensing for the team as well as the Players Association, meaning active players. So Panini can come to a deal with retired players if they choose to, using unlicensed team names and kind of airbrushed out. So you might see Joe Montana's exclusive to Fanatics, but let's just say like one of our buddies, John Taylor, he's not with anybody. So they may strike a deal with John Taylor, and John Taylor might have a San Francisco airbrushed out jersey card, and he's signing that. So
those will be popular.
they might be, but the point of it is that you're going to end up with retired players as a possibility.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the unlicensed stuff, the Topps Chrome before this year that's unlicensed, it is the prices of that. And we're talking retail, and I know that you advise people not to buy retail, but at the places you mentioned, Dick's and Target and everywhere else, Topps Chrome, the last unlicensed basketball cards they produced, just the retail prices on those are just like, because obviously nobody wants them, but now that they have a licensed product,
and when consumers talk, it ends up hurting. And then I think also as a card shop or as a dealer or a breaker, when you see that past history of something, you tend to be shy about, buying that product again. So I think Topps just said, let's punt this year. It's okay. And to be honest with you, when you look at this rookie class, with the exception of Jackson Dart and Scattaboo and Shador and Travis, like this rookie class has disappointed. So if you're going to punt on a season, they didn't have the foresight for it, but this was a season to punt. Shador threw 115 yards last week, playing terrible. Hunter's out for the year. Scattaboo's out for the year. Jackson Dart had multiple concussions. You're seeing a lot of if you're going to pick a rookie class, it's just not going to hold its water. This was the one. So they kind of, I don't know if the word's lucked out or not, but if you're going to punt, this was the season to punt on.
By the way, I just read a story today about a guy that in 2020, when, it was a pandemic and everyone's going crazy over cards and values were artificially inflated, this guy bought all the Daniel Jones rookie stuff he could get his hands on. And he ended up with a ton of it, everything he could get his hands on. And he just decided to sell it all. He decided, the prices, the value's gone up a little bit, nothing close to what they were at that time. I think he's getting about $8,000 for the whole set, which sounds like a lot, but he says he's taken a massive hit on it, but it was just time. He realized this is the best I'm going to do on that.
But when did he sell to make the $8,000 sale?
It's just recently.
So he probably missed the window by about 6 weeks, because for the first quarter of the season, Daniel Jones was an MVP candidate. Now he's fallen off since then, but the Colts are likely going to be in the playoffs, and Daniel Jones has probably played himself into a long-term contract as their starting quarterback moving forward. So he did have an uptick in value this year, but
Right.
This is the speculation when you buy into current players. You ride the wave. If he was going to redo it, maybe he moves it over into Jonathan Taylor cards. Now that Jonathan Taylor legitimately has a chance at the MVP, which is normally a quarterback type of award. And often the running back or the wide receiver that has a great year ends up becoming the offensive player of the year rather than the MVP. But Jonathan Taylor has talked himself into an MVP candidacy. I think he's a top 3 favorite of this year because he's just playing so well.
Yeah, this gentleman, he's selling his entire 171 Daniel Jones rookie card lot up for auction at Gold. And as of Thursday morning, bidding for the lot stood at $8,540. And he says, my son called me up a couple months ago and was like, Dad, it's probably time you take a tax loss on this one. He says, I'll probably take a pretty big beating on whatever the auction ends at, but maybe a Colts fan or someone who Jones likes will appreciate the cards.
That's the fun part about collecting cards is that you're riding a wave. It's a stock that goes up and down depending on how the player is. Again, if you wanted to just be safe with your investments, go for the goats, go for your Joe Montanas, your Tom Brady's, your Patrick Mahomes is a goat that would probably see very little dip, if at all. He's hit that threshold to where he's at now. So there's a lot of opportunities right now to be able to get into players that are actively playing now, but also are safe bets. And I think that what you kind of know who those are. Mahomes is one of them. I think Kelsey is an example. He's moved into being one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends of all time. So there are cards that you can buy of current players that are a little safer, but they won't have as much of an upswing potential as a player like a Daniel Jones that maybe, flat to nothing to something really of value that could jump.
Yeah. How much has the whole Taylor thing affected Kelsey's card values? And by the way, people are flooding into your store now, Emery. It's very popular.
Absolutely. We can't even keep the place open because the fire department's going to say we have too many people. Can you hear me, though, is the question, Whitey?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Travis Kelsey, his values?
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Whitey. I was just going to say with the rest of the products that are on the shelf right now, you're going to start seeing a lot more of the 2025 football product from Panini coming out. They're gonna bum rush us with some options. But right now, the hottest product that's on our entire shelf is the one that's out of stock right now. It is 2025 Topps Allen and Ginter. Whitey, your favorite product in the world.
Yes.
What do you love about this product?
It's just so crazy, so diverse. And if you like baseball, there's a great baseball card set, including some guys that used to play in the in the 70s and the 60s. But you also could end up with an autographed Larry David card. There's autographs of celebrities, autographs of people from all walks of life. This year's special inserts include fish of the world and state birds. And I know for some people, it's like, that's really not what I am into cards for. But for myself and my family, my daughters, we just love it because you're liable to get anything. And there's also some really good autos in there. And even occasionally, haven't got one yet, Emran, but the literally dinosaur DNA card. Just hoping against hope we end up.
I need those dinosaur DNA cards. I don't even think I've even seen one in a picture before, but here's the interesting part about it. So a little inside baseball behind the curtain for you guys. What Whitey has been asking for this product since the very beginning of the year. He goes, I don't know when Allen and Ginter comes out, but I want it. I want it. So yeah, he's got the box that he's holding on YouTube right now. He's showing it. And so he's been asking for this product. He's been calling dibs on this product for almost the entire 2025.
Sure.
So here we are. It releases this week. I had 2 cases of it. We had it on our shelf at $159. Blew through 2 cases. I held 2 boxes for Whitey. He wanted 2 boxes. I held 2 boxes for him. They were in our safe. So I'm looking at this. I've got customers that are begging, like, can we get these? And I go, Whitey won't mind. So I went into the safe and I took his 2 boxes out and I sold those 2. Capitalist, right? Emran applauded the capitalist. And then I went back yesterday, back to the well to go buy more. Well, the rebuy on this product for me to restock it was higher than what I had on the shelf. So
Wow.
when I had it at 159 on the shelf and we sold through it, to go get more on a secondary market, it cost more. So I bumped it up a little bit more. So I had to put them on the shelf at 179 yesterday. And I thought, okay, they won't sell, so I'll hold two more for Whitey. Well, I had them on the shelf for 4 hours, 4 boxes. They were gone. Right.
Wow.
And so at 179. So I think it's one of those products that's just so hot. And you'll see some dealers and some hobby shops that will end up doing something like taking the product and putting a case on the shelf and saying, I'm going to sit on the other ones, knowing that it's going to increase in value. In fact, I can tell you right now, Topps Chrome basketball, when some hobby shops may say that we're sold out, I promise you I'll be sold out, but some of them are sold out, and I'm using air quotes on radio, but they have a whole case back there knowing that next week after it's going to be maybe $600. So why would I sell it
Yeah.
today when I could squeeze out another $50 to $100 out of a hobby box? And I don't know if that's not the case for everybody, but I think you understand what I'm saying. It's like sitting on a product that you know is going to go up. Why would you sell it now? People do that with individual cards. Some card shops or breakers might be doing that with a wax product.
Yeah. Emran, the really cool thing to me about this product and about how popular it is it's not necessarily full of hits. There's 2 hits in every box. So you can get some really nice stuff and some nice autos. But I get the sense that it's becoming more and more popular because people are gravitating to how, for lack of a better term, how cool they are. And that, that speaks to just the fun of collecting rather than just the monetary aspect of it, which is well and good, but cards should be fun. And I wanted to ask you, is this the only card set that has the rip cards, which is you get a card and it's a rip card. So if you want, you can rip it and there's a card inside that may or may not be more valuable
Right.
than the card before you rip it.
So let's give people the insight onto what you're talking about. So there's a card that's a regular size card that has the opportunity for you to take the top and rip it down the middle of the back, and out pops out almost like one of those Russian dolls where you pop one out of the other.
Yeah.
You pop out a smaller mini version of a card, and it could be autographed, it could be numbered, it could be a regular common card. It's to rip or not to rip. And you're correct, Whitey. This is one of the products that has this. But last year, Topps came out with a very small. It was like a little tiny box that was called Topps Ripped, and it was it only had rip cards in there.
Really?
So some people have to make a decision. Do I want to leave it the way it is because I really love Tony Gwynn, or do I want to rip this thing open, the Tony Gwynn card open, to see if I could find something inside? And some people are finding like Griffey autographed red number to 25s inside the card. So I tell people this all the time. Look, it's like toothpaste. Once it comes out of the tube, you can't put it back in. You could always rip it open later, but you can't put it back in. So I always say, until you're absolutely ready to do it, just keep it intact. Just
Yeah,
keep the
yeah.
yolk in the egg.
2 or 3 years ago from your shop, pardon me, we got some Allen Ginter, and it was a Xander Bogaerts rip card, and it was numbered to 50 or whatever. But it was the year of the Wemby rookie. So this is an ongoing. Every time we get together and open these cards, we have that debate because my daughter has it. She hasn't opened it yet. There could be a Wemby auto in there, rookie auto. Probably not, but it could be. So we always have that discussion. Well, should you? I think you should. No, don't do it. So that alone is a lot of fun.
Look, if I'm getting a Xander Bogaerts card that can be ripped, it's being ripped before I even. Who cares about Xander Bogaerts, right? It's a Padre. Now, if it's a Matt Williams card, I might have a little bit of a hesitation on it. But you really look at it and say, does this card mean anything to me with the player that's on the front of it? Nah, rip. I mean, we did one last year. We had one of the rip cards, and it sat in our case for a little while. And I don't think people really knew what it was. So in our theory of how we do stuff here at the shop, I like to have in-store customers have the option for the cards first. If it sits in our case for a couple of weeks, then we determine, do we put it on Whatnot? Do we put it on eBay? It goes somewhere else other than here so we can make room for new inventory. So we had this rip card. It was a Ricky Henderson rip card with the A's. And it was numbered in 99. So it was like, well, what do we do here? do I rip it? It's Ricky. We put it online. So I go, screw it, let's do it. So I ripped it, and inside was an orange Miguel Cabrera mini card signed. It was
Really?
yeah, it was like $400. It was an awesome rip. I'm glad that we did it. And rip cards after they've been ripped still have a little bit of value. So it's not like anything that you had to feel like you've punted on the entire thing. It's not like it's worthless. So we ended up selling the Ricky card ripped already for I think it was like $10, even though the card was like worth 25 before it was ripped.
Yeah.
So hey, that's how you invest, guys. Just buy rip cards for cheap and then open all of them.
You're making me feel like a bad father for telling my daughter not to rip her Xander Bogaerts card.
Peg Junk in the YouTube chateau says they saw a video of Cal Raleigh rip card, and then they ripped it, and inside was a stained glass Ohtani. So that's like a, what is that, a 20x return on a rip? So, but for every good beat story, like they say in poker, there's about 50 bad beat stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, the Allen Ginter is a hot product. We're going to continue to doing it. Whitey, I know you have a pack there. If you want to open one of those packs,
sure,
next to you, go for it. We could talk about what you're pulling, but let's hope you get some dinosaur DNA in that thing.
Yeah. So
just don't eat it like you would the gum.
Am I going to get cards here, or are you going to sell all the ones that you?
No, the cards that are in your hand are yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that.
And here's the other thing too regarding Allen and Ginter. It's the only chance that you and I will ever have to be on cards, Whitey. If we get this card show, this radio show gets so viral and so big, Tops may come to us and say, Whitey Gleason, Emron Plotty, we have to have you have some Allen and Ginter cards.
Here's a good example of how unique these sets are. Here's a Bob Gibson. All right, I love Bob Gibson. Here is the next card is Brandon Coleman, a musician. The next card is, of course, Don Mattingly. Then we've got Aaron Nola, pitcher. And then we've got the mini card of Pee Wee Reese.
Is that the whole pack?
No, we got a couple more here real quick. This is a chrome card of the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Josh Rawitch. Then we've got a very nice Dennis Eckersley card, which I think is a short print because it's 316, wrapping it up with Matt Holliday, Colorado Rockies. So crazy sets.
Yeah, you know what? And Allen and Ginter, for those that love aftermarket autographs like me, I would love to talk about that later today too. Oh boy, we're coming up on our hour quick. That was fast.
Yeah.
Allen and Ginter is so special because people love getting autographs of this because number one, you have unique poses of the players, and they're usually some form of a sketch of the player, or they cartoonize it. Is that the word I'm looking for? Cartoonize it. And
characterization kind of thing.
You have a lot of players. You have a lot of people that you just would normally not have a card for. So, like for example, we had a Post Malone had a card, and it was one of the most popular cards for him to get signed. After market to meet Post Malone, and people would bring their cards to get him to sign it. So you have the cool opportunity, and they frame so beautifully when you have like a, blue Sharpie on them. They just look stellar. And they always pop a lot better when you look at something like a Topps Chrome. Has maybe a dark background and you're trying to sign something on silver blue Sharpie on there, it doesn't pop. On Allen and Ginter, this stuff pops really well.
Well, I'm still waiting for my first global fish or state bird, but that's not a bad start because the Pee Wee Reese is actually a short print mini. So yeah, lots of minis.
You've already made a ton of money today. Good for you.
A ton.
We've got a little under 10 minutes left in the show. I wanted to talk about a couple of things, but one thing I want to talk about is not only that, in about 2 hours, Matt Williams will be in store here at True Sports Cards 6661 Stanford Ranch here in Rockland. He'll be signing autographs. We have tickets available for you to pick up if you want to walk in. $35 any item, and we also have other merch for you to be able to buy. Things like his custom jersey, $40. Cards, $2. 8x10 photo, $6 with the top loader. So we have the ability for you to come and get some cool product, get to meet the Giants legend, Matt Williams. And then later tonight, we have our trade night. So we have our 4-year anniversary just passed. We're going to be celebrating it today. So I'll be feeding you again. Let me remind you some inferior pizza. When I say inferior, it's gonna be quantity over quality. So
What a salesman!
Yep. Hey, you know what? You'll be full. Will you love it? Maybe, but I'm gonna be eating it with you. So we'll all have tummy aches together, and we're just gonna have a great time tonight. It's a special time for us. 4 years in any business is a long time to survive and go to markets. And we started in the middle of the pandemic, and here we are 4 years later, and we built a strong community of collectors, and we just love it. And I can tell you, Whitey, and this is the cool part about it, and it happened this week. Somebody came in and they say, "We listen to your show all the time. We love you, Emran. We love hearing you on the radio." And I go, "What about Whitey?" And they're like, "Yeah, we like him too." And it was the first time that I've ever been the Batman on this show.
Nice.
Card guy, just shut up, card guy.
Hey, card guy, shut up and just talk about cards, you idiot.
Good for you. Yeah.
After 3 years of my own show, somebody said that I was the best of the two of us.
Yeah, I talked to those people, and that's not the story they gave me. But you roll with it at that.
He sent him in the shop and said, "I'll split a box of Allen & Ginter with you if you just go in there and inflate his ego a little bit."
Yes.
It worked, Whitey. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. And whenever I figure out I can restock Allen & Ginter, I promise to have you a box, unless somebody wants to buy it and you're not here.
Yeah,
and then that bad boy is gone.
That's a fair deal. Would Matt Williams, nothing against him, but he would be considered a star of the junk wax era, right?
Yeah, he would be. That 1986 through 1993 era. And we have our junk wax rip night coming up, and what a segue. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah.
January 17th, we have Junk Wax Rip Night. The tickets are available on truesportscards.com. $20 will get you 20 packs. This time around, we're going to hand out the packs, the Junk Wax packs, to give them some diversity, because we laid them out like a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet, and everybody was like 92 or whatever it was, 88, 1990 Upper Deck, and then all grabbed all of them, and the next thing you know, everybody's looking at Conlon Collection Pacific cards left over. So just because
I bought those when they came out, the Conlon collection. I have a ton of them.
It's not like it was hometown buffet and I bring out more fish fillet. I was out of fish fillet. So what we're going to do is we're going to diversify, mix it up a little bit. But for $20 to get 20 packs and be here and ripping, and we will have one of our great friends from the Junk Wax era be part of this. I haven't locked down exactly who, but we will have somebody here to rip the wax with you guys. And that's January 17th, 5 to 7 p.m. It's a Saturday.
Yeah. Pardon me. The cool thing about those nights and the cool thing about tonight, in addition to celebrating your anniversary, which is just tremendous, they are celebrations of the hobby. They really are. I haven't been here for one of the trade nights, but I've been here for Junk Wax Rip Night, and just the sense of community and the sense of group fun that everyone has, it really kind of restores your faith in the hobby and where it all is, because we hear these stories about fraud and this and that and prices, and then you come into one of these nights in your store, it's like, oh yeah, these are the real reasons why I'm involved in this. And so kudos to you and to all your customers. You have great customers here at
they a lot of these guys and gals aren't customers anymore. They're friends. They're friends of the shop. They're people that we care about. They're people that we want. And I've given some of our best customers, I've given tickets today for free Matt Williams autograph. Come and meet him. You supported us from the beginning. We love having you here. We have people that have been day one customers that still come in weekly to come and spend time with us. And whether they spend $1, spend $0, or they spend thousands of dollars, it doesn't matter to me. It's the familiarity of. My hope is that we're the Cheers of sports cards, where people come here. I've had people come here and they've done a deal with somebody else, and they've made trades in the shop with no intention of buying or selling that day to us, but they feel a sense of safety meeting somebody for the first time to do a trade or a purchase here at the shop, and we're kind of the safe place for them to do that, and we love seeing that too. If we can be that for anybody, we want to do that too.
Yep. Emran, the red-nosed card guy, has a bunch of cards and more. Today he's so excited. Matt Williams will be in store. Ho ho ho!
Did you write that yourself?
No, I have a team of writers, and yeah, it took them weeks, and they finally put that together for me. So,
well, yeah, I hope you had the receipt. return that one. That was not a good one.
Mhm.
Whitey, you are not going to be with us today. You have some other commitments today, but what's your next when's your next purchase happening? What are you going to be going out and buying besides Allen and Ginter? I can hear the
Topps
outro
Chrome.
music. Anthony's saying, "Get off the air." So you got to tell us quickly. What are you
Topps
buying?
Chrome basketball. I'm looking at some Topps Chrome basketball. Anyway, I can get my hands on some. I just feel compelled to just see what it's all about. And I'm looking
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, find Whitey locally selling plasma to be able to afford a box of hobby here next week.
and not my own plasma.
Yeah, you'll be with other people. So if he invites you to lunch, know that your plasma is going to be taken. You might wake up in a bathtub, but unconscious, but you'll be fine. Thank you so much for everybody for joining us. Don't forget Matt Williams, 1:00 here at the shop, 6:00 for trade night. Whitey, you're the best. Thanks for being here.
Happy anniversary, Emran.
Thanks everybody.
Talking about True Sports Card Store, yeah.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool,